To kick us off here with hot takes for this Friday edition, we're going to head to John Gradek, lecturer in McGill University's Global Aviation Leadership Program, because this week we got some very big news about Boeing making a move on Quebec and pledging a whopping $240 million investment in the province. And I'm hearing hot takes from people saying, hey, this is a great thing. They're pointing out that Quebec is becoming this international hub. But I also have some people that I hear are shaking and wagging their fingers over at Boeing. John, welcome to the program.
Hey, Elias, my pleasure to be here with you on a Friday morning.
Absolutely. And listen, I just need to pick, just in light of all the stories surrounding Boeing, I do need to point out, and Lola and Jay in Master Control have also told me this. We are all pointing out we had nothing to do with this segment. This is entirely you that wanted to speak about Boeing. That's correct, right? If any executives from Boeing are listening, this is all your fault, correct?
All my fault. Yeah, I'm the guy. I got broad shoulders. I can take it. Give me credit. Not a problem.
What's your take here? And I heard the premier this week saying, "Look at Quebec. We are the one place that has all the three big players in aviation. They all have operations now here: Airbus, Boeing, Bombardier, right?" And he's crowing about it. What's your take on this investment?
It's an interesting one. I think that he's right that we're the only place on the planet that has all three major aerospace producers located in the city. Toulouse doesn't have it. Seattle doesn't have it. We got it. And we have ICAO, we have IATA, we have Airports Council International, a number of other international aviation organizations that are in Montreal. So, yeah, I think everybody's trying to say, they're jumping on the bandwagon to make Quebec the superstar of aviation. And I think that Boeing is, a little late to the party, but welcome to the party, Boeing.
And why do you think Boeing chose Quebec here? I mean, they've got all types of options. They can double down in the places they are already at. Was it just money thrown at them? Why do you think Boeing's picking Quebec?
Oh, I think that they want to make nice to the CAQ government. I think that they want to kind of patch up the differences that they may have had with Bombardier in the past. As you know, it's been a rocky road between Boeing and Bombardier over the years. We can always go back to the C-Series airplanes and then the Boeing lawsuit about Bombardier being, an organization that's got a lot of government help, and so they had unfair competitive advantage, and that got solved by Airbus buying up Bombardier C-Series, and then we also had the P-8 Poseidon aircraft last fall, where our friends at Bombardier enlisted the help of Mr. Legault and company to kind of defend the Bombardier position, and the Canadian government overrode that and chose Boeing. So this is a way for Boeing to get back into the good books. And I think that when Mr. Legault slapped the back of the president of Boeing International and said, "Welcome to Montreal," I think that the smile kind of told the impact of that Boeing investment.
Is this a bit of forgive and forget, or are we forgiving but not forgetting? Because I've seen the sort of cutting jabs and remarks about that history that aren't too kind to the news this week.
No, I think that it's going to take a while. It's very emotional. It's there's a lot of egos that were being thrown around on this one. I think it's going to take a few years, and it's going to take a lot more than $240 million. I think the $240 million that Boeing's putting in here is just a drop in the bucket. There's a few $100 million more coming. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to find out what the right investments ought to be in the province of Quebec. So I think that this is the start of Boeing considering Quebec as an integral part of the Boeing Canada model. They were in Winnipeg for years. They're in BC for years. So now, in Toronto for years. So now it's Montreal's turn to get some money.
Let me ask you this, John. You mentioned ICAO's here, so the regulatory aspects and international organizations, they're here. The corporations are here. Where does that put us? I know that part of this is the provincial government wants to make us this international hub in aviation aerospace. Where do we rank? If you were to look around the world and you had to decide to be in a city, to be involved in aerospace and aviation, where does Montreal rank now?
I'd say it's on the top 10 list. It's got a little rocket beside it heading up, but it's got a ways to go. I think that you got things like taxation in the province of Quebec that's an issue. Language is an issue. Education, health. Those are all issues that people look at when they decide where do we locate and where do we relocate. And so those remain big issues. So definitely not in the top three, but with the investments being made by corporations and recognizing that Quebec is a bit more difficult place to work and live in, that's the impediment. But who knows? It might change.
John, what is Boeing going to be doing here? What are they doing with their investment?
Yeah, they got three major investments that they're putting in there. They're putting about $110 million into a new building at the Techno Park, in Ville-Saint-Laurent. And that's going to be an R&D center. They're going to put a lot of space, high ceilings, all that good stuff, and then rent out space to companies that want to do companies and universities who want to do some research in aviation. They're putting about $80 million into their unmanned aerial mobility device called WISC, and they are in Mirabel, and they're bringing the next generation of aero taxis into the market. And the last one's about $40 million to Aerodeftek in Longueuil to do the next generation landing gear.
John, to wrap us up, if this Boeing announcement was a movie, would you give it 2 thumbs up?
One, and maybe a little bit, 1.25.
All right,
not
John.
More than that. We're going in the right direction, Elias.
Think about the website, Aviation 2 thumbs up. I think you could probably get the copyright on that. Be well, John. Thanks so much.
Have a good weekend.
John Gradek right there. You too. That's John Gradek from McGill University and their Global Aviation Leadership Program.